Hey YouTube, I have some ATCs here I wanted to share. Instead of making them, I figured I'd break them out so I can share them with you guys before I send them in the mail for my swaps. So this first one here actually was a non-traditional Valentine's Day, and they said we couldn't use red, pink, or white, so I had to make a new color color schemes, so I went with the blues and the yellows and the greens. I started out with a whole painted background, which I ended up really covering up a lot. I did white doilies pieces, but I colored them with the blue and the blue sequins. This actually heart here is a sticker that I stuck on. And then I Sharpie markered a black one in the background and put this on there. So yeah, that's number one, and I hope whoever gets it at ATC for all, I hope they enjoy it. This one here, I wrote a poem on it. What if red floated away, pink didn't want to stay, white lost the fight, and blue came to rule Valentine's Day? So, just my little messy chicken scratch on some blue paper with some embellishments like flat back pearls and some more sequins and a little shiny little rhinestone piece there. On the same background, but most of it's covered up, as you can see, and I Sharpied around the edges. Right. Then the next one, my background paper that I used, I actually weaved it on this one. And I wrote little tiny X's and O's in the background, wrote the Valentine's Day. There's tiny blue and gold rhinestones, and then two different colors of sequins. So yeah, it's kind of textured and it's got the weave in there, which is great. And again, Sharpied around the edges. Okay. Then for the host, I decided to make a card, and she said she liked Zeddy cards. Well, I've never made any Zeddy cards, so she kind of tickled my curiosity strings, which was kind of cool, and it got me excited, and I decided to go and try to make one. From what I know of Zeddy, you know, it's a lot of cutouts and piecing together, and there's wings and a lot of black and white stripes, and it's very glary from there. But in the magazine that I was looking through, and I got this little dog head, which is so cute, there was a cooking page, and they had bacon on there, and I figured, oh, great, right? Threw the flour in the background and used the bacon as the petals for the flower, and of course, bacon. Awesome. So yeah, those are all going out for my swap for the untraditional Valentine's Day cards. The next one I have, let's just get these out of the way, and I package them all up and tape them all together in the packages so that they don't rattle around in the envelope. The next one was whimsical faces. Well, I don't draw usually. I'm more of a mixed media type of person, so I took this swap as a challenge, and we were supposed to use at least 3 medias. Well, I did pen, watercolor, there's a tiny bit of acrylic paint, but I also threw in a little bit of glitter glue just to sparkle it up in there on the bow, right? And a tiny rhinestone. Now, I'm not sure if I was supposed to put that on there, but I did. So that's my whimsical face. Really, really big eyes, you know. It's a very thin card because it's just hand-drawn, hand-painted kind of thing. The next one I did was this one. And I figured, you know, why should they have their eyes open all the time, so let's make them closed. So she's got a little hat, which is sparkled up in rhinestone. Again, it's the same media as I used for this one, which I kind of like her. She's got really big lips. And then this one here, I finished her, and then I added some, you know, glitter, and I added wings on her, because to me, she kind of fairy-ish. So she's got some wings. And the background is kind of like viney, but very blurred. So, yeah. And the host, she liked a bunch of different things. Red and blue and teal. Well, I didn't really have a teal paint, so I kind of went with the lighter color. I did a tissue paper stamp. Getting off screen here, sorry. Tissue paper stamp for the cage. Drew in the chain. This was a picture I had, and I just kind of like watercolored it. And then I stamped the words, fussy cut them out, and put glossy accents on them, and that's fly free. You can see that. And it's all on book paper. So I'm hoping she likes it. And I popped up the bird a bit, so you can see that. So there's a little bit more dimension. So that's for her, and I'm hoping she enjoys it. She'll get to come see it here on YouTube. The next one actually is going to Belgium. Her swap was pirate related, and she wanted one card, and they were all hand painted and hand drawn only. So she wanted the first card to have a pirate on it. Don't ask me why I thought octopus. So that's my pirate. All hand drawn and watercolored. Right? No shimmer, no nothing, just plain. And then the second card she wanted was a map. So I drew my map and I watercolored it. I hope the people that get it enjoy it, because I don't draw very often. And this is the treasure. It's his daughter on a pile of jewels. Right? And I painted with some markers and to give it that little bit of shimmer. Jewels and coins. So, and then for her swap, she wanted a steampunk card. So I just made this little one up, and I first painted or stenciled with black, which is all in the background. Okay, and then I went over and I embossed the gears, punched some brads where the gears actually can, you know, move or whatever, but they don't move all that well. Put this hand on there, glued it on so it's on top of the image. I took my white watercolor pencil, and instead of watering it down, I just kind of used it like a chalk stick a little bit. And then I also stenciled in here a little bit of gold in the more wider areas. Oops. And then a few little tiny rhinestones, right? Just for a little bit of shine. So yeah, I hope she enjoys that one. Get these out of the way. Put them all back after. So then I entered another swap, and this was Valentine's Steampunk, and they wanted a girl to be the center focal point, like the focal point of the card. So I call this one kind of Love in Paris, because looks like she's running towards it. The Eiffel Tower, and there's some gears on there, and this one moves really well. You know, and little tiny rhinestones to add a pops of color, and there's little hearts that I put in there. You know, and I shimmered the edges with, it's like a copper acrylic paint, and it's a bit thicker of a card. And then I went to this one, totally different color scheme, kind of, and each one has a glossy accent, like the Eiffel Tower on this one here I put glossy accents on that one. So then I decided to do this one, which is a very large key at the top here. Some gears. The gears can kind of move, but there's a lot of dimension on this card going on, textures. I did a texture paste in the background, which are all these little tiny bumps, and kind of hard to see on camera, but like this one here is actually texture paste. And I decided to imprint on them some screws. You know, just got a crown with rhinestones, and then I glossy accent the key so it's shiny. And it's the same stencil in the background. I just colored it in differently. And then this one here, I'll take it out. She's kind of like a ballerina, right? So I made it so it looked like she was kind of holding the pocket watch. And there's the embossed gears on there, and a few tiny embossed. There's a small embossed key. I don't know if you can see that. And the gear again, you know. And this time I put a little tiny feather up in her hair with some rhinestones. And this is actually ball chain that I actually glued onto the card. And then for her swap card, again, she liked a little bit of Zeddy. Well, I didn't have a lot to clip out, so I found this face and I watercolored it. Then I embossed a piece of cardstock and made a dress and added some lace. And I drew the hands and the feet and the hat and fussy cut them out. Oh, and the tail. This is kind of a fabric washi tape type thing. I did a mixed media paint thing in the back with some stamps. A little bit of glitter glue on the dandelion puff there. And then it says catnip makes me giggle. And I thought that was cute. So then I put glossy accents over the words and the eyes. So the eyes are shimmery and tiny few rhinestones on the hat. I really like this card. When I first made it, I really didn't want to give it away. But I made it for her, so I hope she enjoys it. So, if you like these cards, get back to me and maybe we can swap one. I will be coming back with another share. I have another anti-Valentine's Day cards that